Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well out there in this industry and life, and we are back for another video. So, once again, in this video called Mastering Notarizations, we are going to do a VIN verification today. The VIN, VIN, stands for Vehicle Identification Number Verification. This is going to be Florida specific. I don't know if you all have other in other states have this as well. If so, let me know in the comments and let me know how it works for your state. So first of all, before we get into this video, I need to do a disclaimer. Recently, on one of my videos for Mastering Notarization series, and I think it was the Quick Claim Deed, there was a comment that basically stated that as a notary, we cannot notarize our own signature. So because of that, my tutorial of showing you all how to notarize a Quick Claim Deed was invalidated. I informed the signer that yes, I am aware as a notary that I cannot notarize my own signature. The videos that I do on here are for educational purposes only. So I am aware that I cannot notarize my own signature. I wanted to get that out of the way before we started to let you all know that yes, I know I cannot notarize my own signature. These videos that I'm doing when I'm using myself as the signer and signing and then notarizing are for educational purposes only. Now, since we got that out of the way, let's get into this video. So like I said, we're going to do a VIN verification. So in Florida, a VIN verification is a required process for vehicles that need to have their title transferred from out of state or when a vehicle is being transferred to a new owner. In the state of Florida, this process involves a physical inspection. For the state of Florida, the notary has to be in front of the vehicle, and the vehicle, as long as they're able to turn the ignition and we can see the mileage, then we can do a VIN verification for a customer here in Florida. I have had one where it was just the front body of the car, and the car, is still, the motor and everything was in, the battery was in, and the owner just cranked it up and boom, and that was that. So the process involves a physical inspection of the VIN number by a Florida notary public, a licensed dealer, a police officer, or someone from the Florida Division of Motorist Services employee. This information also has to be documented on a certain form for the state of Florida, and that form is the HSMV 82042 form. I'll also, once I'm down in the description, I'll put a link to that form for the state of Florida as well. So as always, I usually in these tutorial videos give you guys a part where there is a RON side and there is a physical presence side. But as I mentioned earlier, a VIN verification in Florida can only be done in person. So I will be doing this tutorial as one tutorial, and also doing it as I am physically in presence or physical presence with the signer. So now that we got those pledgencies out of the way, let's get into this notarization of this form. And we are back. Now, here we have in front of us, like I stated, this is going to be Florida specific. So I don't know if other states document for a VIN verification looks like this, but this is the state of Florida, and this is the form that I was telling you all about, which is the HSMV 8202 document. So it's just one page, and then it has your second page down here where it tells you who's authorized to complete this form, when this form should be completed, and when should this form not be completed. All right, so we're going to go back up to the top, and we're going to start up here at the top. It just says the date. So let's just say I have arrived at the location where I am meeting my signer, and I have asked the signer to view their identification, because just like anything else, this is a notary appointment. So I have to view the signer's identification. I make sure that it is not expired, and if it is expired, as in the state of Florida, make sure that it's been issued in the last 5 years. Because if it has been issued in the last 5 years, you can still use the ID. If it has not been issued in the last 5 years and it is expired, then of course you're going to have to ask the signer for another form of acceptable um, identification. If they do not have one, then of course you would have to reschedule the appointment for another time. Okay, but this time we're going to say that our signer's identification is all good to go. We are good to go. We have verified their identity. There's who they say they are. We have filled out our journal if you use it. Of course, in Florida, it is not required, but it is recommended. So now we're going to get to the document, and we're going to put today's date. So we're just going to say 06/10/2025. Okay, now down here with next is the vehicle identification number. Now, sometimes when people call me for these VIN verifications, they ask me, can they fill out the document? I tell them that they can fill out the date, they can fill out the identification, they can fill out the vehicle identification number, the year, the make, the color, the body, and if applicable, the previous state that the vehicle was titled in. Do not do anything else, as I need to do the rest of, we need to do the rest with me in person, and they understand that. So now we're going to fill out our VIN verification number, and there are 16 digits in the state of Florida. So, okay. So we filled out our VIN verification number. We're going to state that our car is a 2024. The make, we're going to state that it is a Toyota. Color, we're going to say it is silver. And body, let's just say it's a Camry. So here you can say Camry, or if you also want to, you can also say sedan, if you would like to. It doesn't matter. So most of the time we're going to say sedan, because a Camry is a sedan. At this particular time, we're going to be like, okay, was it in a previous state? So we're going to say yes. We're going to state that this person has moved to Florida for a job, and that they are coming from Kansas. Okay, so we're going to put that information in there. So now we're going to say, okay, I need you to turn on the vehicle and let me see what the mileage is. So the owner has turned on the vehicle, and we're going to state that it has 5 mileage. We're going to say it is 85. It is 85 to 260. Okay, 85,260 miles on this vehicle. When was it read? It was read today, because I was physically present with the signer and made sure that this information was correct. Down here at the bottom, it says, does this reflect the actual mileage? Is it in excess of it mechanical limits, or is it not the actual mileage? Of course, we just had the owner turn on the ignition, and we saw the mileage ourselves. So this reflects as the actual mileage itself. So we would just check that box. Now, the next thing we have to do is that the owner who's standing there with us has verified this information, and they're stating that this information is true. So at this time, the owner is going to sign this document. and then they're going to print their name. Now, if this vehicle was being sold and the seller was there, then of course the seller would do the same thing here. So that is the top portion of the affidavit. Now we're getting down to the bottom where this is where the notary's information is. So of course the date, it was done today. Okay. Now, if it was done by a notary, then of course the notary is going to print their name here, sign here, and it does not give you much space. Why? Most of us, we stamp it on the side here. Now, if it was anyone else, like it says, if other than a notary, check the box below that applies and sign and complete the corresponding fields. So therefore, if it was the basically the DMV employee, they would check here. If it was a military police officer or a basically a regular law enforcement officer, they would check here, and then if it was a Florida licensed dealer, they would click here. Of course, they're gonna sign, print, and then it tells them all of this information based off of which one of the above that they are. But of course, we know that I'm a notary, so we are going to go ahead and print my name here, and we're going to sign it. And then we're going to add my seal. And we're going to try to make sure that it gets, being that I can do it on the computer, it makes it fit here. And this is how it would look. Now, I know that you all are saying, "Oh my God, there is no venue. There's no venue. There's no venue. There's no what type of identification the person had. What, none of that." So for this form, you cannot add a loose leaf certificate. In the state of Florida, if you add a loose leaf certificate, it will invalidate this document and they will not accept it at the DMV or the collector's office when they go to get their new tag. So basically, per the state of Florida, the document that the way it is, once the notary prints their name, signs it, and puts their seal, it is fine. You don't need to add any of the other venue information, only because is that when they go to the DMV or they go to the tax collector, that is going to be in that particular county. And because this is a statewide Florida document, of course, the state doesn't need to be there. The county is where they will be registering the car at, where they need to get the tag at. So that information is not needed for this particular document listed here. Now, if you wanted to add what type of ID the signer gave you, you probably could go up here and add it, or you could go here and add it. They do not give us much room on this document for that information. So if you wanted to add it, like I say, you may be able to add it here, here, or you maybe add it down here, being that you're going to print this document out. So this is how a completed vehicle identification and odometer verification form or affidavit for the state of Florida looks. We have the date, we have the vehicle information here, we have the 5 or 6 digits, when it was done, the actual mileage, the owner has signed it. Down here at the bottom, um, the date, the sign, printed name, sign, and also the seal of the notary. This is a completed document for the state of Florida for a VIN verification for a VIN verification ID. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little short video. Please let me know down in the comments. Does your state have a VIN verification form? And if so, is the process similar to Florida, or is the process different than Florida? And if the process is different, please let me know how it is different. And can you also do a VIN verification online, being like I state that Florida can only do these in physical presence? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I can't wait to read your comments. And until next time, happy stamping and signing.